mess. What's up, guys? So, this is going to be my summer passing tips video. Now, I am trans, female to male. I will be starting testosterone next week, so I am going to be hitting the subjects of passing during the summer and also summer trips. So, one big thing. If you are starting testosterone and all of that, you will sweat more. So, get men's deodorant. Get a cheap men's cologne, but not one that smells so fucking strong that it'll suffocate people around you, please. Per me, because I die off of a lot of people's cologne. On my Instagram, I will be posting a picture of the brand of cologne that I use. It is a Walmart-based cologne. I got a sample pack because I liked all of them. And perk of being born or raised as female, I know how to sparingly use cologne. But the one that I use is a cheap one. The big bottles are about 10 bucks. The variety pack that I got that is smaller bottles is $15, $16. It is based off of like alcohols. My favorite one out of them all is the Tennessee whiskey one. So, there's that. Another thing. Summer. You want to be able to swim, right? A lot of people say get a size up of a GC2B binder. While that is an option, I would not suggest it myself. I have been swimming a few times in my swim trunks and a binder that somebody ordered for me off of my Amazon wish list. It is an Underworks mesh binder. So, on hot days, that is what I use to bind, as it is a lot more breathable than most other binders. It does not bind as well due to the fact that it is mesh, so there isn't as much tightness to it as a regular binder would be, but it still does bind enough. You can get it on Amazon for about $20. Underworks. You can also get one of their other ones, a size up or not. The mesh binder that I use swimming is actually the appropriate size for me. It does not affect my breathing. I'm able to move around as I would if I were shirtless swimming. And it also better covers the sides, so there's nothing sticking out because I am a big-chested person. It is better coverage as a binder. So that is what I would suggest for swimming. And if you do get a mesh binder, keep in mind that you're going to have the sunscreen underneath it first, because it is mesh. The sunlight will get through the mesh and you will still get tanned. I don't have much of a tan line because of it. I've been out in the sun plenty of times with it on. I've been swimming with it a lot. Now, swim trunks. Swim trunks are sized the same as men's pants, typically. So it's fairly easy to get the size, but there's something I would like to point out. That this is something I made a mistake of when I tried my first pair of swim trunks. When you first wear them, they will be tight in the crotch region. Sorry. But yes, they will be tight in the crotch region, and they will feel like you can't move your legs as much. That is if they're brand new. Wash them once, swim in them once, even if they feel tight, and then wash them again. They will become loose and better fitted to you, and it will not feel like it's restricting you anymore. That is what I did with my Trans Pride swim trunks that I have. I didn't realize that I had to wash it a few times and use it a few times to get rid of that stiffness. So I ended up going out and getting a swimsuit from Goodwill. Now, if you really want a swim trunk that fits well and you don't have to worry about breaking it in or anything like that, I would definitely suggest a place like Goodwill, a thrift store, or Savers. They are probably one of the better options as they are gently used. And yeah. Another thing I would like to remind people, yes, men's swim trunks have pockets. Don't use them. It's a nice thing to have the pockets, but if you use them, you have a high chance of leaving an electronic or money or something in the pocket and getting it wet, and you can ruin a lot of things. So just ignore the fact that the pockets are there. Men's shorts, they tend to come up long, like as I'm wearing 34s. One thing that I would definitely like to suggest when coming and finding out your men's size, if you start by getting a pair of shorts like I did last year, that is, like, for me, it said medium on it, 32 to 34. Don't just assume that your size is in between them. Go and try on actual pants to figure out your size. Because I made the mistake of guessing that it was the smallest size or the middle size, and neither of them fit me. I ended up being the max size. If it's a size range that you're buying, don't use that as a reference for buying fitted things. And also keep in mind, this is something to get used to, your shorts, your pants, they will be low riders on you. They will hug your hips, but not your waist, which is great for passing as you can't see any curves through it if you are curvy. Another thing that I would like to suggest is button-ups. I myself get a size up than what I would be binding, just because I would like to be able to wear it when not binding as a just in case. Because if I am out and I am unable to breathe for some reason due to whatever binder I have chosen to wear, and I have to take it off, I have the room in my button-up for my chest. As I said, I'm a bigger chested person, so it's a lot harder for me to pass. Now, another thing is heat. Do not be afraid to walk around in your binder if you're overheating. I haven't had an issue with this due to the fact that my fiance has not let me try this, but there's a possibility you could get away with just walking into a store with just your binder if it's like black. Like, you could call it either a tank top if you have the tank top binder, or if you're like me and have the cut up, the one that's cut halfway, you could get away with calling it a crop top. Please pay attention to how you feel in the heat of summer. Because of the fact that you are binding or wanting to bind, if you are binding, you can overheat very easily. That is why I suggest the mesh binder, as it lessens chances of overheating, but you still will need to make sure you don't overheat. Now, I am going on a trip in July down to Florida to visit some of my fiance's family, some of my family, and just so me and my fiance can have some time to ourselves. We've never had a trip to ourselves in the almost year and a half that we've been together. Year and 3 months that we've been together. If you are a smoker like me and you bind in the summer, take more breaks than most people would. Because of your smoking, it's going to affect how your lungs function, and if you smoke while binding, especially in the heat, you might not be able to breathe after that. Make sure you're doing stretches in your binder. Things like this, crossing over, and just stretching in general, so then you are able to move around and all of that. If your binder rolls up in any way, shape, or form, you might have to get used to it. Because a lot of binders will do this depending on what type it is. I know that my Underworks mesh binder does roll up for me when I'm at work, and it also does it in public. It being mesh, it's a little more uncomfortable when it rolls up, but I also am a little more chubby. Now a lot of people try to do the summer workout things. Don't push yourself too much for that. If you are working out in the summer, do not bind. Do not layer. If you wish to layer during the summer, have a t-shirt and a button-up. Button-ups are probably the best way to help you pass in the summer, because especially when with a pattern, because people will be more noticing of the pattern than how your body is shaped. Haircuts in the summer. Don't just shave your head, because if you do, you can get sunburned very, very easily on the scalp. So if you do have short hair like I do right now, make sure you are putting sunscreen on your head. Make sure you are wearing hats as needed as well. Another thing, a lot of people have trouble finding men's sunglasses that do not look like they are too big for your face. One thing that I would highly suggest is getting aviators. Aviators are a kind of unisex sunglass, and they kind of look a little bit big on anyone's face. My fiance wears them, I wear them, so that definitely does help. If you are going to get sandals for the summer, I have George cork bottom sandals. These are my first pair of men's shoes that are sandals. The other ones kind of look like little boy shoes, so I don't wear them. But they have cork bottoms and they mold to your feet. They are very, very comfortable. Now, men's shoes only go as small as 7. I don't know why, I don't know where, but for some reason I thought that there was a size 5 in men's. Apparently there is not, because I have tried endlessly to look. Now, in women's shoes, I am size 7 to 7.5. The fact of the matter that I can fit these, my fiance personally thinks that these might actually be unisex. During summer, honestly, the best option would be to find anything and everything that is labeled as unisex. It is something that is going to probably better help you pass. But definitely look at the photos, see if it has photos on men and women to see how it shapes on both bodies. One thing for summer heat, if, as I said, if it's hot and you're binding, you're going to need to take breaks, all of that. Have something like a mister or a cooling towel on you, as it can help you stay cooler. And if you are binding, I would suggest a cooling towel. This is going to be really weird probably, but if you're overheating and it's specifically in the area that your binder is, get the cooling towel wet, put it in the fridge for a little bit, and then tuck it under your binder and just have it wrap around you. Yes, your binder will get a little wet, but it's fine. The coolness will feel great in the air. The little bit of moisture that your binder will take in will also help for once the cooling towel is no longer able to be used. You'll have that extra cooling on your binder to help you with the heat. Now if you would like to wear tank tops, like men's tank tops, in the summer, wear a darker binder. I have 2 binders, one that is skin colored and one that is black. My black one is my mesh one. Definitely make sure you have a properly fitted binder, and if you can, find one that is high up under your armpits. One thing that might help you pass in the summer, if you yourself are comfortable with it, is grow your armpit hair out, grow your leg hairs out, grow all the hair out. It will definitely make you feel more masculine. Just hair growth in general. If you have any facial hair that grows naturally, let it grow out, dye it a little bit. If you do dye your face or any possible facial hair that may be there, be warned, it will stay in your skin up to 48 hours. And if you are doing it, do not do it the day before you go to work. Even if you're wearing a mask, it can be seen. Yeah. But if you do dye your skin while using a beard dye for your facial hair, you can use rubbing alcohol or Vaseline to help remove it as best as possible. I had to actually do that because I made the mistake and I seriously dyed my face. Yeah. Another thing, pay attention to the weather. If you are not paying attention to the weather and it rains and you're wearing a white shirt, but don't generally wear a colored binder with a white shirt unless it's a white one. Just don't, because most people can see through the white because white is fairly translucent fabric. Please do not shove yourself in hoodies. I understand dysphoria can really, really kick your butt, especially in the summer. But I don't want anybody going out and getting heat stroke because they're going out in sweatshirts. If your dysphoria is really bad and you are unable to bind, layer. Either layer with a button-up or a zip-up sweatshirt, not a hoodie. The zip-up sweatshirts tend to be thinner than hoodies are. So there's that, and you can also roll up the sleeves to make yourself look a little more masculine. Other things that might help you pass is, we're going back on the subject, yes, you can dye any facial hair you may have, but also use that beard dye on your eyebrows. That way you don't have to use makeup to fill it in. Typically, makeup, especially in the summer, will not help you pass. If it's a hot day and you're just wearing contour and you're sweating, that contour will melt. Even if it's powder, if it's liquid, it will melt if it's a hot day and you're sweating. Another thing that might help with passing is pick and choose your events. If you, let's say there's an early morning event versus a nighttime event. Your family wants to go swimming in the morning, in the middle of the day, and they also want to have a bonfire at night where people will also be swimming. If you're having a bad dysphoria that day, personally, I would not go to the morning event, but going to the nighttime event, the bonfire, would be a better option as it is darker, so people are less likely to notice binding or any feminine features because it's harder to see in the dark. If you are going swimming, as I've said, and I'm going to keep bringing it up, mesh binders really are great for swimming. They won't become overly waterlogged, and it helps you breathe, and it won't overheat. Mesh binders for summer are probably one of the best things. Now, if you're swimming, there are a few different options. One, you could just swim in swim trunks and your binder. Two, you can get a swim shirt. They actually make some that are guards against the sun, so it'll reduce the chance of you getting sunburn. But you might get a farmer's tan. But farmer's tans sometimes help people pass. Also pay attention to what accessories you're using in the summer. If you're going to the beach, look around when you see people go to the beach. The men, if they're by themselves, they typically will not have a bag, an umbrella, all of that. Typically, females are more likely to use actual umbrellas, bring big bags of beach stuff, or parents. Alright, so if you have kids with you, disregard this. But if you're going to the beach by yourself or with a significant other, try to bring as less as possible, because not only will people view you more likely as female if you have a lot of stuff, the less stuff you bring will also bring the less amount of attention to you. So that would probably be the best bet for beaches. If you want to go swimming and you're just uncomfortable with the crowds at the beach because of your dysphoria, there are a lot of places that have little hidey holes. You can go to a river trail and just walk a couple miles in, find a spot that's good for swimming, and swim there with whoever you're with. That is probably the best bet if you would like to go swimming but you're too afraid to go out in a public setting where there's a lot of people. Just don't let what anybody says to you during the summer affect how you view yourself, because no matter what, you are masculine as fuck, you look amazing, and you are killing it this summer. So, the last subject that I would like to bring up is traveling. I probably said this already, but I'm going on a road trip to Florida next month. Do not bind if you are going on a road trip. Do not. Do not. Do not. Because you do not know how long you will be stuck in the car for periods at a time. And in a car's small space, it can be very difficult to remove or put on a binder as needed. So just don't bind on a road trip. You're also going through multiple different environments. So you could go from a nice, fairly warm day and then go into another state and it be hot as fuck. Wear very comfortable men's shoes. Like the ones that I showed earlier. They're probably best. Wear loose clothes and don't overpack. If you have a male person in your life, someone who is cis male or trans male or whatever, talk to them. Ask them, what do you think I could do to help me pass better? Especially during the summer months, they will probably be best to help you as they lived it. And if you, for packing situations, talk to a guy. I'm going to be talking to my fiance about how much I should pack, because men typically don't pack as much as women. And what will also help is if you get a masculine looking bag, or a unisex bag. I myself just got a really nice masculine bag from Walmart for about $30. I've been needing a new backpack anyway, so I just got that for my trip. And for traveling, biggest suggestion I would give you is there is a travel bag for men that is pre-packed on Amazon for about $11. I would heavily suggest that you get that when you get the chance, as it has men's deodorant in it, it has travel toothbrush, travel toothpaste, it has razors in it. I'm pretty sure it also has a traveling size shaving cream, and it also comes with a bag. So when you pack, if you do want to wear like contour or something to make you look more masculine in certain situations, then throw that in there as well. Throw some medications in that as well if you have medications. I'm going to touch on a more chronic illness side of things. I am heat intolerant, and I'm going down to Florida. if you're heat intolerant, what would probably be best is if you have some sort of mobility equipment with you, especially if you're going into a place that is known for being super hot. I myself am bringing my wheelchair, and when I first got it, it was blue, but then I painted it pink, and then I painted the trans pride flag on it and painted the footrest white, and I've gotten a lot of compliments on it when I'm out in public. But like, if you are using a wheelchair, find a way to sit more masculine in it. The biggest problem is if you are using mobility equipment in any way to help you during the summer, or in general when you're trying to pass. It's going to be very hard for you to pass with mobility equipment, as your body is going to naturally use it the way your specific body type needs it to be used. So like, if I'm wheeling my wheelchair, I can't make myself look masculine or feminine by doing it. Don't read overly into what you're doing when you do anything, especially during summer. Because if you put too much effort into it, if you worry too much, you're going to end up not having as much fun as you would wish to. I understand dysphoria really does suck, but please don't let it take away from the fun that you can have during the summer. Please don't, I'm gonna say this again, don't wear hoodies. Don't wear the thick layers or anything like that because of your dysphoria. I don't want anybody getting hurt during the summer. Just focus more on the fun that you're having in the moment. Some things that might make someone feel more masculine, and I hate to say it, do something like going fishing. Because it is something that a lot of people refer to as a masculine hobby. Find more male activities to do, like laser tag, something that's more physical. That way you'll feel more masculine while doing it, while not having to worry about looking the part. Because people will generally look at you like a more masculine or possibly butch person. So that's about all I have for summer tips. If you guys have any other things that you would like me to touch on subject-wise for this channel, let me know in the description. And I will be also making a video about looking on yourself in the past.